Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910-269-8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Hey, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. I'm Kip Thompson, and we just heard from one of our sponsors, Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina. They are huge sponsors of our show, and also tonight's show is being brought to you in part by Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. So we'll hear a message from them as we close out tonight's show. It is Tuesday evening. Welcome everyone back to another exciting show tonight. First time guest on the show tonight. It is the driver, the number 16 Longhorn. It is Ben Watkins. Ben, hey man, congratulations on a great win this weekend and welcome to tonight's show.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I'm definitely very excited to be on here with you, see what we got in store here.
All right, man. Well, talking about not only a big win this weekend at Lancaster Motor Speedway, but let's back up. Let's go back to Lancaster Motor Speedway for the first race this year with the Carolina Clash Super Late Models, and you captured that win. And there's just something about, you told me Saturday night standing in the pit area, that there's just something about racing at your hometown racetrack. Let's talk about what it's like to be there. You've got all your fans. That's where you cut your teeth racing. Let's talk about Lancaster Speedway for you.
Oh man, to talk about Lancaster, I mean, we definitely got to go back. You know, like I told you Saturday, that's where I cut my teeth. That's where I learned to race at. You know, and some big old 3,200-pound stock body race cars. I grew up watching my dad race there my whole life in stock cars, and got to race with him a little bit when I first started. And just beating and banging there, running around the big half mile. That's where I learned, and got my start at right there.
Well, I'll tell you, just like I told you Saturday night, I was super excited to be at Lancaster Speedway. For me, because I stay so busy with announcing at Fayetteville and doing our podcast and helping out announce at other racetracks and different things like that, Lancaster Speedway was like a bucket list for me and my two boys. And so everything kind of lined up. And, I was really a little bit worried early on in the week about this time last week. I was like, man, holy crap, here we go. A chance to go to Lancaster, and they're calling for rain. And lo and behold, we go through about Thursday, and then Friday morning I wake up, and the forecast is all clear. So we were super, super excited to make our first trip there. Definitely, without a doubt, we will be back. And, man, what a great show Saturday night it was. A lot of good cars there for the Ultimate Super Late Models, a $5,000 to win event. And, man, right from the start, as usual, especially at Lancaster, you unload out of the trailer, you're fast. You're fast when you hit the track, and you're fast when you loaded that piece back up, man. Let's talk about what it takes to tame the big half mile like that.
Oh, man. I don't know. To try to put that into words is pretty overwhelming. But just a lot of people come, and so to back up me starting off, I learned how to race on that big half mile. And to go other places, we had like a 3/8 mile down the road. The smallest thing I ever seen was a 3/8. So then going to some of these other racetracks, I'm always I thought the normal was that big half mile. And to see that other people, when they come, they're like, oh my goodness, this thing's huge. And to not knock on any other places, but like where we went to Halifax the other week, I'm not kidding when I say I raced go-karts down the road from Lancaster. I race go-karts on tracks as big as Halifax. So, the track itself, it's never, a lot of people are intimidated by the size and maybe the speed that you carry there. But it's maybe just second nature to me, just learning and all the laps and reps that I have around that place, obviously are, priceless too. But and it takes a whole team, with all the laps that I have around the place and just growing up watching it, how the dirt, is around there, the banking, learning all those little tricks along the way. That's got to mirror having a good setup under the car, and that all goes back to Wesley Page. He's just a guru with the setup and the shocks and everything that he has going on, and obviously that Longhorn's just a really good car, and it's just all working together right now.
Well, when you talk about other drivers who come to a place like Lancaster Speedway who don't normally get to race on a place like that as often as you do, they have to adapt once they get to a racetrack like that. Now, one thing I will tell you that I've seen about you is on the flip side of that, I've seen you be able to adapt, talking about a 3/8 mile racetrack, the new configuration at our racetrack at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. I mean, you've had some great runs there and had a lot of success there. And, what do you really have to do to adapt? I know it's like a different setup, different gear and stuff like that, because obviously, Lancaster Motor Speedway is a hoss of a racetrack. And man, I stood there, I was there at the flag stand in the pits, man. I walked down with maybe 15, 16 laps left to go. And good gracious, man, when you go down that front straightaway and come off of turn 2, I mean, it's nothing like it. So to talk about the changeover to adjust from a track like that to, say, a Fayetteville Motor Speedway, how do you do stuff like that?
It is a big change. And to kind of touch back on Lancaster a little bit, it wasn't very long ago. It's kind of funny, even all the laps I have around Lancaster, to kind of go in depth, like say, about how you drive Lancaster. Somebody asked me the other day, Wesley, we got out of the car after hot laps. This might have been the first time we were there in a year. And a guy was talking to Wesley, and Wesley just brought him over there to me, and he said, hey, he wanted to ask you, how hard are you driving right now? And this was hot laps. And he's like, he wanted to know, how hard, because obviously, man, these cars, 800-900 horsepower, with the way they are, I mean, you're getting after it. But he said he wants to know, hey, are you 60%? How hard are you running? And when I had just climbed out of the car, and I didn't need to say anything. I stuck my hand up, and my hand was doing this. I said, I'm running about that hard right there. And that was all I needed to tell him. I mean, because it's still, every time you get out of that thing at Lancaster, to be fast, that's the way you got to be. At least for me, anyway. I feel like had a little success, but I mean, you just got to put it on the ragged edge every chance you get. I mean, even you got like one of my friends, Brandon Overton, told me. He said, you have to be comfortable putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. That's how you're fast around that place. And luckily, just got a few laps. But like you say, going to other places, you gotta. It's a different type of finesse. You have to. It's not always about as hard as you can go in there. It's it's using a lot of other things. And Fayetteville has been a big learning curve over the years as to how to race. It's taught me how to race other places, especially the old configuration and how tough that dirt could be at times. And just like you say, backing the car down sometimes, not running 100% all the time. Because of those big motors, you can just burn those tires off if you're not, being careful and thinking about all that. Just knowing when to tone it back and when to go for it, and it's definitely a lot to it.
Well, I'm sure that it is, but since you're talking about the learning curve that Fayetteville Motor Speedway has taught you, you did drive on the old configuration. You obviously have also driven on the new configuration. So I'm going to give you just a second here to kind of brag on our racetrack, man. I've heard a lot of drivers of your caliber, drivers who have never been to Fayetteville before, who have come for the first time. And man, they absolutely love it. Sometimes something clicked last year about midway of the season, and it was when you guys came to town. Our track crew, Wayne Gray, Dave Mitchell, our track promoter, and Freddie Maynard, man, they really got something figured out on that dirt there, because, man, that is a very, very good racing surface. And yeah, I'm a little bit biased because the Fayetteville Motor Speedway is my hometown racetrack, and I grew up watching races there, and I've seen it progress and I've seen it change. But it's always great, man. It does me good to hear other drivers compliment on our track, and hopefully we'll see you there again, because I got you guys with the Carolina Clash 3 more times for 2023.
Oh, for sure. And just to touch on that a little bit again, like, you can't ask for anything more than to, man, there's a high line There's a bottom you can feed around. And there's still enough racetrack to float the middle, and especially, for around here, you can't ask for anything more than that. I mean, even to start seeing that line move around, to have options to be able to move, that's as a driver, that's what you want, to make good racing, to make it good for us as well.
Well, I know that it's been so cool to see that as we've progressed. Once we did the bull ring and everything got shortened up, and Dave Mitchell, he is a race promoter, but now he's a racer as well. Wayne Gray has many laps under his belt at many racetracks. He's raced on Lancaster there before, years ago, back when in the modified 4-cylinder days. Cherokee, all over everywhere. These guys are racers and know exactly, they know what you want to feel as a driver, and they're actually trying to deliver that, and they are delivering that inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway with our new surface. And man, we love it. We have a 50-lap race and 25, 30 laps in, and you've seen a couple of different lead changes. And with 25 laps maybe to go in a particular race or whatever, top 3, 4, 5, it's anybody's race because you're racing side by side. They're 3 wide coming off the corners, and it's a great place, man, to be. And we certainly love how we see drivers adapting to obviously the new surface at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the more I'm excited to go back. We just speaking on our behalf. I feel like we got potential. We got potential to unlock a lot more than we have already. Like last time we were there, I felt like, man, we had a top 3 car. I definitely don't think we didn't. I don't know what we had, if we had anything for Willie that night because he was on a rail. But man, we had a top 3 car, and I kind of got bottled up behind some guys, but we know we got potential to get better, and so we're itching each time to get back there so we can get better.
Well, no doubt we're definitely looking forward, to having you guys back again, and you will be back at our racetrack this month. It's May the 27th. It's a big $10,000 race to win. And, when you touch on a guy like Willie Milliken, it kind of mirrors you at Lancaster. That place like the back of your hand. You cut your teeth there. You know what it takes to be up front. Willie's got Fayetteville Motor Speedway figured out because he's been racing there since he was in diapers almost. He cut his teeth there. His family, his father-in-law raced there, Hank Edwards, back in the day, and a big name in the dirt racing world. And, it's kind of, those hometown tracks, they do play a little bit of favor to you. So let's talk about, you went down to Lancaster at the first race of the year with the Carolina Clash, and you were able to capture that win. And then you guys were off. And then, man, I got to let you tell the story about being at Livonia, and you just almost demolished the race car. And I heard the story about how you guys came back home. It's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and just the midnight oil, man, that you guys burnt to come back to Cherokee the very next night. And pretty much, I was standing there. You guys, it was almost time for hot laps, I guess, when you guys got ready to unload and go. It was just in the nick of time, and came out with a great run there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, that Friday night at Livonia, we've had some good success, lately at Livonia. So we went down there, feeling good, and just, I don't know, man, you kind of said it in some of your other podcasts, dude. I don't know what it is this year, but this, we can call it what it is. The regional racing has been stacked. And it always has. I tell anybody, you come in this region, there's no easy win period anywhere. If you think you're gonna roll in somewhere, get easy win. It ain't gonna be around here.
Well, let me interject there just a second. When you start talking about that caliber of racing in that series, whether it's the Ultimates or whether it's the Carolina Clash, Lucas Oil, or anybody, see, everyone nowadays has got pretty much the same equipment. Some people have a little bit of advantage because they get to drive more often than other people do. But, man, when you guys went to Livonia, Georgia, 24 cars, the top 18 of that whole entire field, man, was separated by 0.6 of a second. Now, that's competition, my man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I remember that night, I told them, I distinctly remember telling them, I said, we got on the wrong side of 1/10. I said, I think we might have, I can't remember exactly. I think we started somewhere around ninth, somewhere like that. Eighth, ninth, somewhere in there. But I remember telling them, I said, if we would have been on the other side of this 10th, 1/10 better, we would have been in the top four probably. It was just like you said, it was that close. Everybody is that good. And just the car count has been phenomenal. It's been crazy. The start of this year in all these races that we went to, it's been very well. I know it's been really good for the Ultimate and Clash. I mean, I told Joey Chapman the other week, I said, it's good to see that. I said, y'all got to win. Y'all got to win sometimes too, And I know that was a win for them, the car counts and how good the racing's been. And yeah, it's just tough. I don't care. Those guys that run nationally, like you say, they're good because they get to race more often. They get more reps. They get more seat time. But I'm telling you, you drop them in a regional race around here any weekend, I'm telling you, they better buckle up because they're gonna have their hands full.
Well, Joey Chapman always says it great because no matter where you guys go, whether you travel from Fayetteville to Livonia and you're fixing to go to Lawrence County Speedway, Cherokee, and then you come back to Fayetteville again. But, wherever you guys go, there's always that little local group that you're going to get your best shot when you come to their home racetrack. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's what I love about, and that's what I grew up on too, man. Those when the big national guys come in town, it was always fun as a kid. You're rooting for that local guy. And man, it's so cool. Like you say, everything we all got, the cars are so close nowadays. Everything is so close that you really, these local and regional drivers, when these big teams come in town, when these big races come in town, they gonna have their hands full, because the local guys got a good shot at winning.
Yeah, well, exactly. You hit it right on the head right there when you start talking about these national touring guys who come around. I remember being at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, and I don't mind saying it because he said it right to me. It was a big. I can't remember if it was a Clash race or what it was, but Earl Pearson Jr., the Hurricane out of Jacksonville, Florida, he was there and he was driving. And Earl, EPJ and I have been friends for a long time. And I went out and spoke with him after the race and everything. And Willie Milliken actually won that race. And, we were talking about it and he was just kind of laughing there. Well, we're not really laughing. He's just like, man, I can't believe, man, I came down here and kind of got outrun. He said, but Kip, he said, and this is where I got that line from. He said, Kip, the thing is now is so different. Everybody's running the same equipment. He said, the only thing, man, that I got over Willie, if anything at all, I just get to drive more than he does, man. He said, but it's just so competitive. And those local guys, like, we're talking about, anywhere you guys go, you are definitely going to get your best shot. But, congratulations again to you, man, on a big, huge win. That's your second big win at Lancaster Speedway for 2023. You also, and we talk about, that night at Livonia when you about wiped it all out and had to work all night. I think you guys had to rebuild the whole front end of the car, and then you come back and lead every lap at Cherokee, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I know you captured the win. I think you led every lap too.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, touching on that a little bit, that Friday night, just starting a little bit behind there, because the field was that close, we were just kind of there and not sure, kind of floating around that 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th, area there at Livonia, just kind of slugging it out there. And I kind of missed the corner a little bit. And I think it was Matthew Nance got by me. And as soon as he did, I didn't know what happened. But, I got mine pointed straight and gassed up. And next thing I know, he was sideways in front of me. And come to find out, watching the replay, somebody in front of him got crossed up. And man, I plowed him, and everything happened so fast, and it turned him over. But I mean, it destroyed the front of our car. It caught kind of high in the front end, or what we call the filler panel, and it drove the radiator through the fan, wrapped it around the front of the motor. It actually took what they call the bay bar, that top bar that connects the two top rails, and it broke it. And we're looking at this thing, and we're all kind of not very happy on the way home, because like, man, this thing's killed. We're thinking about racing tomorrow, and Wesley, he kind of looks at all of us, and he says, if y'all don't want to race tomorrow, we don't have to. And one of my buddies that works on the car, he can't never keep a straight face, but he perks up trying to get everybody laughing. He said, "Oh, we racing." He said, "We racing. Unload it right now. We work on it." He said, "We gonna race tomorrow." But we got home so late. We called it a night. Got up the next morning, and we thrashed on that thing. And to kind of touch on this, we weren't sure. Hey, is this clip tweaked on this thing? Is it bent? Like, we don't know, because we knew it took a hard hit. And we took that top bar. We had another top bar, and we laid it in between those two rails. And I ain't gonna lie to you, the bolt holes wouldn't line up. And we said, man, what are we gonna do? And we actually didn't have a quarter power laying around. We said, we're gonna get these bars spread back out and get this bar in here. Well, we took a jack, almost like an off-road jack, and we put it in between those rails, spread the rails back out, got the holes lined up, dropped the bolts in. I said, let's put this thing back together. And we thrashed, put it all back together. Got there, like you said, just in the nick of time. And I think just by everybody, man, we worked so hard. And when we got there, I was like, there ain't but one thing to do now. And we just give it all we had. And man, it was a good night. We were fast.
Yeah, it was definitely a great night, and I just knew. I was just like, man, because I had heard the interview, with you and Mark Huey, and y'all were talking about, thrashing like you're talking about, man, just burning that midnight oil, and people don't understand, man, and I know that you'll echo me too as well, because I've said this many, many, many times on our show, man, races aren't won on the racetrack necessarily. They're one in that race shop. And I know that you guys, when you start talking about, not only having a night like that, man, to totally like just rebuild the whole front end of the car, then your weekly maintenance, man, and doing everything that it takes, man, to be, because I mean, to be up front, man, you got to be on top of your game. Again, echoing what we're talking about with the competition that you guys run against. I mean, you have to sometimes burn that midnight oil. You guys did that after Livonia, and then you show back up in Gaffney, South Carolina, the racetrack your mama warned you about, the Cherokee Speedway, and led every lap. So, man, congratulations on that. So, coming up now, what is next for Ben Watkins Racing? I've already heard you, and I've talked about it over the weekend. You're going to Lakeview Motor Speedway this weekend for another ultimate show, another $5,000 to win event. Yeah,
that's correct. We've had some good runs, recently at Lakeview. So yeah, we seen it come up on the schedule, and it was like, man, if everything works out, we definitely had that one circled, also to go hit. So we're looking forward to getting down there. That place can get pretty technical. You better be on your stuff when you unload there. And like you say, I don't expect for anything to be different as far as competition wise when we show up there, because it's going to be, there's going to be some good cars for sure.
Well, we wish you the best of luck this weekend as you go to Lakeview Motor Speedway in the Palmetto State of Nichols, South Carolina. And then after that, what's next for you? Not trying to call your schedule for you, but I'm just kind of know, I guess, where you're going, Lawrence County with the Clash, and then the following weekend you'll be back at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, I would assume, there on May the 27th with us.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's our plan as of right now. We're gonna go hit that Lawrence. It's been a while since I've run there, and then we'll be back, at Fayetteville, ready to get back there.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you back at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Wish you the best of luck as you go to Lakeview and Lawrence County. And before we jump off here tonight, let's give you a chance to talk about your sponsors and all those people that help you on a weekly basis to be able to keep that number 16 up front like you do.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like you say, I talk about him all the time, but man, Wesley Page, guru with those shocks. Him and Lugnut back at the shop, they put in some hours on them things, but definitely Wesley Page, WP Racing Shocks, John Page Racing, Longhorn chassis for sure, Clements Racing engines. That whole setup there together is, with Bilsteins under the car, it's just working really good. Sandwood Company, Sandwood Automotive out of Camden, South Carolina. They sell used cars, man. If you're looking for a good car that's going to last you, used car, talk to those guys down there. Go check them out. Top quality siding and windows. Langley Collision Center out of Lancaster, South Carolina. Those guys got on board with us this year. Can't thank them enough. All-Star Performance. Man, I got to thank VP Racing Fuels for sure. And my guys that actually, put in the work. Zach Smith, he works tirelessly on the car. So does, and that's actually the son of Jeff Smith. He works on the car, and then he goes and works on his dad's car. He's an awesome dude. And so my buddy Kent and my dad, basically, man, between me, Wesley, Kent, my dad, Zach, and then we got Andrew this year. Andrew Page, he's on with us. So, man, I just can't thank them guys for working and helping get that car ready each week. Because, like I say, it's a lot of work, but, man, it's fun when it pays off.
And no doubt, man, when you name off all those guys and you name all those sponsors, I know it means a lot to you to have them in your corner, but man, it does. It takes a village to be up top and to have those people, man, that, hey, they burn that midnight oil just like you do. That they're just as much a part of that race car, the guys who turn the wrenches as you are, and they all go to win. And it takes a team. The word team, I've always said, TEAM, together. Everyone achieves more. And when you look at a team like what you guys have, I know you can echo that as well.
Oh, for sure. And, man, I ain't going to lie to you, as fun as winning is, sometimes it's so satisfying to me is because, like, I feel like, hey, I did my job, but it's only because them guys put in that effort.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I always love to give all the drivers who are on our show, number one, a chance to thank their sponsors. We've done that. And also, that crew, man, that burns that midnight oil. You're not in there by yourself. Those guys are there with you. And, congratulations to you and your entire team on not only picking up the win. This is your second win at Lancaster this year, and also the big win over at Cherokee. And we wish you guys and your race team for the remaining part of 2023. We got a long way to go too, man. Just think about it. We've had some races, but we still got a lot of racing, here left to go. And so we wish you guys, man, the best of luck through the remaining part of 2023. And thank you so much, man, for taking time to be on the show. We talked about, hey, man, I got to get you on the show, down at Lancaster Saturday night. You were like, heck yeah, man, let's roll with it. So Here we are on a Tuesday night talking about a win that you captured this past weekend.
Yeah, and I want to come back on as soon as I can. We're gonna stay on a hot streak right here, and you're gonna have me back on. And either your kids, I like them either way. They picked me for winning at Lancaster, so hey, I'm good with that. So either they like me or they're really good picks. They know who to pick when it comes to picking time. So
I think it may be a little bit of both. That they're good at picking because now I love racing, but a lot of my two boys grew up watching racing with their dad at a very young age, and they can look at a car and I may not know who it is, and that's a Masterbuilt, Daddy. That's a Rocket. That's a Longhorn. That's a Capital. Those they know racing, and they know more about a lot of the drivers in depth. Some a little bit more than I do because they just love it, man. They love dirt racing. But yeah, they both picked you, and I guess you saw our Facebook Live as we were on our way to Lancaster. Yeah, and so I was in a truck. It was one on two, both of them saying Ben Watkins, so, and I chose Willie because, Willie's a very dear friend of mine, like a brother to me. And so, but anyway, again, congratulations. And yeah, Zach was really, really happy to meet you the other night when you walked by, because he was super excited when you came over and spoke with us.
Oh yeah. Sounds good. Well, hey, I can't wait to see you at the next track, and we'll get after it again.
All right. Race fans, that is Ben Watkins, driver the number 16, Wesley Page Longhorn, the Rock Hill bad boy, picking up another win this weekend at Lancaster Motor Speedway with the Ultimate Super Late Models. He will be heading to another Ultimate Super Late Model Series event this weekend at the Lakeview Motor Speedway, and then has another weekend back-to-back, the 20th. He will be in Lawrence County Speedway with the Carolina Clash Super Late Models, and the Clash will be back again May the 27th. So go ahead and mark your calendars for that. Anybody who is adjacent to watching the show tonight, Fayetteville Motor Speedway fans, $10,000 up for grabs with the Carolina Clash Super Late Models. We hope to see you all there. As we close out tonight's show, we will hear from another sponsor, Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing out of Greenville, North Carolina. Huge supporters of our show, and make sure that you go to their Facebook page, Atwell Exterior Services. Look at Team Atwell 18 Racing. Give those guys a like and a share, and just follow them because of what they do for the sport of racing. It's not just on our show. These guys sponsor a lot of different race cars. They have big, huge sponsorship at Gateway at the end of the year, and they're just all about racing just like we are. So be sure to check those guys out. Thanks for watching. And as we close every one of our shows, we always do the same exact thing. Be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next right here on the Voice of It Lane podcast. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go to Facebook and YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, subscribe to our page. And thanks again for watching. And whatever you do this weekend, somehow, some way, go support a local racetrack. And again, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.